My
See,
microphone is good, it's
yes,
good.
everything is good. Come on, don't complain immediately. Indeed, Tuesday, 9 p.m., 1 hour later from the usual, but that's because of a lot of alignment, adjustment, a lot of work these two people now that you see on the screen need to do basically during this Tuesday, because we are saying from Wednesday, the weekend, we are preparing for the weekend, by the way, from Wednesday on. So, yeah, good evening, everyone. And tonight, I have a very special guest star, to be honest with all of you. And I met him, I think, 2, 3 weeks ago, or about a month, if I may say like that. He started as a developer, if I may say like that, and now he is some type of a manager. So it's quite difficult role, if I may call like that. So from developer to manager, but also there is a lot of things that he would like to share with us. There is a big thing that is happening also within the, especially in the Microsoft cloud world, in the Azure, basically, which he, how to say, he told me about that. I read it somewhere, but he will share the story about it tonight. And the thing is called Neon, by the way, for those who never heard. So they can search it immediately in the Azure portal. They can search it on the Google, or they can search everywhere. So they will find a lot of informations. So tonight, I just want to welcome Bobur. Welcome to the show, mate.
Yeah, hi Martin. Yes, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I mean, a very nicely done introduction. Yeah, I'm super excited actually. Even like evening time for us. I'm based in Tallinn, Estonia. It's 10 p.m. on my side, but it's still like very energized, how to say, after meeting
That's
Martin.
yeah, yeah. It
Yeah,
must be
because
energized. Otherwise,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because
Uh,
I
yeah,
can even if like we didn't meet each other in person, I see the energy coming from virtual, like talking from you, and then I'm already like fully recovered from the day of,
indeed.
you know.
And yeah, I use there is a special thing. I use a direct connection, express route, basically via Azure, and basically with that connection, I can push a little bit the other side completely on the top to get the energy back from the morning and from all that stuff. And yeah, I should not say yeah so many nice words. Thank you about that, mate. But I think you're more energized because in Monday you're traveling to MVP Summit. So who will not be energized if I know now that I need to go to United States in Monday and in Microsoft Office. That's a quite nice, I would say, and quite interesting thing. So I think half of the energy is from there, half from me. Can we agree on that?
Yes, of course, absolutely, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. How is going in Estonia? How is the weather, first of all? Let me ask you like that.
Ah, I would say it's good. It's normal.
Yeah,
Normal means like we are having still winter here,
yeah,
snowing a lot. You know, it's also in April, in even at the end of March, we have you cannot gauge the weather. Like for
yeah.
example, yesterday was sunny, 8 to 10 degrees, and today is snowing, like -degrees. So it's not
It's
stable.
snowing. You said it's snowing.
It was snowing. Yeah, it was snowing literally yesterday night, whole night, and now I see there is no snow at all. Like everything melted out. Uh,
God.
yeah, this is like the weather we like in Estonia. And then I have, one funny joke. One Turkish friend, we together worked in Tallinn as ex my
Yeah,
colleague as well. When he visited the first time Tallinn, he told me like, "Bobo, look at the sun." I'm looking at the sun, and then he saying, sun has a light, but actually it has no energy. Like I don't feel the heat of the
yeah.
sun, and then not enough D vitamins, right? That was kind of fun fact about Estonia in general.
Yeah, tell
Super
me
cold.
about that. The sun without vitamin D. Tell me about that. Me living in Netherlands. Tell me about
Oh,
that.
yeah, it is. It is pretty much aligned. I think pretty much aligned.
Indeed, 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 indeed. We are on the same side on that. And when it comes to the snow, we have a joke in back in my country. We are saying, yeah, the snow it's like my salary. It comes and gone.
Yeah, yeah,
It comes
yeah.
and gone. That's it. Simple as that. Nice. Uh, how is going at your side? If I'm asked like that, how is going with all that stuff? We have a small catch up with all the AI things that is happening. Also, I think you're up to date with all the latest features and all the stuff also related, which we will touch upon later on about the neon and all the stuff. But how it's going, and do you use, if I may call it like that, because every guest I prefer to ask about, we are all using AI every day. Yeah, Chat GPT, Cloudy, this, that,
Yeah,
and blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. It's so many. How is for Bobur going on that direction with the AI topic, if I may say like that, mate? Do
Yeah,
you
yeah. I
use
think
on a daily level? Do you, I don't know, make a deployments and all that stuff?
of course. AI is, how to say, the last 2 years changed my life in a better way. I would say,
Okay.
yeah. And some people argues that like, the AI giving the performance and making you twice more like a faster, but at the
Yeah.
same time there is always risk, right? But when it comes to developer relations in DevRel field where I'm working now, AI changed the developer relations in a positive direction. For example, I can bring like it's speeding up the documentation process for us. Think about like one of the responsibility of the DevRel developer advocate is writing content, writing articles, docs pages,
Yeah.
and with the help of AI, like monotonous, let's say, works we do when we are describing, let's say, step-by-step guides, it
Yeah.
is reduced like 50 times faster I'm writing because I don't have to write myself, ask AI, hey, like, because it is, I know how to write these. That's my kind of the most powerful part. I know I can use AI. If I don't know how that should look like at the end,
Yeah.
there is no need to use AI. So I just say, hey,
Nice.
write me step by step this guide, then I will double check if everything's correct. And sometimes like I will add my kind of thinking of the documentation.
Yeah.
But there are other type of like more freestyle blog posts, right? We write
Yeah.
sometimes. Well, freestyles comes first like from the human because from what I see in some articles, they are getting very, very boring
Yeah.
because of like very commonly used AI words.
Yeah.
You can identify very easily, what kind of content it is. And okay, this is like speeding up the documentation process. One is the advantages, and also creating sample codes
True.
in developer. It's another very good help from the AI side. So I can sometimes it's also giving me ideas like what kind of code samples I can create. Let's say I'm working on semantic kernel and a Neon serverless Postgres integration, and then I can
Wow.
ask AI, hey, like, could you give me real world projects ideas,
Yeah.
at least top 10, so
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
can choose one of them. And I choose after AI giving me some ideas, I can choose one of them and start to implement
Yeah.
and make it in real. And also it helps with writing the code, especially for in the programming language that I'm not like quite comfortable because I'm
Yeah.
Java, Python more, in JavaScript. I'm not comfortable, but in JavaScript, AI can write and I can review that code. Also,
Nice.
another third one, I would say in DevRel, supporting developer requests. Let's
True.
say you can already see like now in some developer tools documentation, it's very automated. You don't have to read all the docs. You can just use the AI chat to look for something useful if you got stuck. Like you can find a quick start easily, or ask any specific question about the product, or even create some automated tickets for
Yeah.
engineering team if there is a bug with the support, automated supporting for developer requests. And the last one is, I would say, it makes making easier the knowledge searching. I can easily
True.
search knowledge on
True.
Discord, on other channels.
True. Because yeah, I have done my homework, so I have a relevant question. One to you.
Yeah,
You as an ex-developer, if I may call it that. So
I'm still developer.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, but now you're a manager, so come on. Indeed. So from the looking from the past as an ex-developer, if I may ask like that, and what I saw on the IT market, if I may call like that, a lot of developers became afraid, yeah, AI will steal our job, AI will do this, blah blah blah. Somehow, if we all think like that, that means the AI will steal all our jobs, so we will be without jobs, if I may call like that.
Mm,
But I disagree on that. That the AI will take your job if you're a developer, not developer, to be honest with you. But I'm just curious as an ex developer. Just I wanted to ask you, how do you see on the things? Because I see that if you're a developer or I'm developer, I see that AI can help me to improve my code, if I may call it that. For example, me as a DevOps engineer, if I may call myself like that, it can improve my code in the pipeline, if I may say like that, where the deployment can go faster and do this and do that. But to steal my job, I'm not sure about that, to be honest with that. And that's my argument, if I may call it like that. So I want to check and ask you, how do you see on the things, if I may call like that, when it comes, yeah, AI will steal our job and all that stuff? Because I think we all see on the internet that everyone panicking, yeah, AI will steal our job, and all that stuff, if I may call it like that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it's very also discussive topic nowadays,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
and I think for software engineering, I wouldn't worry about if someone in software engineering discipline, it's someone like in accounting or bookkeeping or other parts of the
yeah,
specialists, they can already worry about because the AI can replace their job, or to be honest. But in software engineers, there is nothing to worry at all. If we have the strong background, not in like specific programming language, how to write, but I mean, architecting things, the first of all
indeed.
important, like even starting from software engineering principles like object-oriented programming or how to build APIs from scratch.
Yeah,
If you know the basics, you don't have to learn the rest. I mean, you don't have to learn the frameworks. Like you don't have to learn how to use LangChain or how to use a semantic kernel, Autogen.
yeah,
So AI can help with that. But if you don't know this foundation, but now you are starting in this period, just the programming, how to write the programming,
yeah,
you might be fail in software engineering because you don't have the core foundation, the
true.
knowledge from the school or from the university. Why we learn, for example, how to write algorithms, uh, even
The
if
basic rules, the
yeah,
basic
even if there
rules.
is a yeah, exactly. Even if there is existing solution in the online, even without AI, even it doesn't help in our current job. We learn that the basics because why? You cannot invent something without knowing like how it created. The same
Yeah,
with mathematics, like math never changes at all the next few decades, but the foundation still exists. You know how to add, how to subtract, how to divide. The same way as algorithms. Yeah, I could recommend, for example, for early starters. I'm not telling about like less than 3 years of experience in the development.
yeah,
Start with stepping back and
yeah,
discover like a clean code, software architecture, even basic of how to write SQLs, and how to build full stack develop like software on your
yeah,
own without using
yeah,
any external tools. That's enough, I think, to speed up. And then AI can come into the picture, and it can speed up your process because you know how
yeah,
to do, but you want to get rid of daily work jobs. Like think about, for example, unit tests. I don't want to
yeah,
worry about the unit tests unless like I can only focus on the more researching and maybe focus on more business cases rather than like writing unit tests because AI can write for me the unit test. And even
yeah.
now it can review my code. So
True. It can be your peer.
yeah, but obviously, yeah, we cannot truly 100% like rely on AI reviews, obviously, but
Yeah,
it's still like 80% of what AI tells, human cannot tell even in the PR review. Maybe they have enough knowledge, experience, but they can miss sometimes very
indeed.
important points.
True, true. Did you try the GitHub Copilot? I wanted to ask
Of
you.
course. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I tried. For example, the GitHub Copilot, what I'm using nowadays in VS Code, because as an MVP, you will get some
yeah,
benefits,
yeah,
for
yeah,
free. That's exactly what I'm using. And then there are other tools also specializing is Code Rabbit. I'm using
yeah,
Code Rabbit for PR reviews.
yeah.
You can start with free, and then there is also special packages like Light package I'm using to automate this code review process.
Nice. That's nice. That's nice. Nice to hear. Nice to hear. Indeed. Where or how Bobur started before this AI, if I may ask like that? When was the starting for Bobur with this AI development, la la la? Because if I notice good in the previous experience, also on the LinkedIn, that you started with C sharp. Am I correct?
It's
Or
Java, C Sharp,
Java?
yes, Java and C
Yeah.
Sharp then after, yeah.
How it come Bobur to start with the programming? For example, why not DevOps engineer? Why not something else? I don't know, football player maybe, or something else. How it come Bobur to went to the, how to say, in this Microsoft ecosystem, if I may call like that, or what's
Yeah.
the how to say, yeah, from the early ages, if I may call like that, you started learning the computers, you have the wish for the computers and all this stuff, because you mentioned the algorithms, and not a lot of people were doing algorithms, let's be honest, from the developers, except if they are not my age or older than me, if I may call like that. So I catch that generation also with the algorithm on paper, even if this then that and blah blah blah, you know how it will be. uh, so from where is the wish for these computers, and now stuck as a developer, if I may call like that,
Yeah.
in this Microsoft ecosystem, Bobur?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to listen like a long story or making like a
Well,
short story?
I have enough time, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. My story in software engineering, actually, I mean, from the beginning, I didn't want to become like a software engineer. I
Okay.
was curious about working as in the military, as a
Oh,
national security guy.
oh, nice.
From the movies, also from my parents, like
Yeah.
my father and my grandfather, they worked in national security.
Wow.
Then like becoming like the AI agent, not the AI agent, but the security agent. So
Security age.
yeah, that was kind of how I started to learn, for example, cipher things like encrypting, decrypting things. That's
Yeah.
a story I started like on the paper. I was learning some different encrypting algorithms, how you can decrypt it, like by writing down on the paper. The first learning from the Caesar, Julius Caesar,
Yeah.
the approach, like
Yeah.
dropping one letter and then changing in their order. So that's like what the first thing I learned. And then like it ended up with programming, because it's all about like a deciphering also programming. Then I decided to apply for computer science,
Yeah.
and I won this Erasmus scholarship. I studied in Italy, and
Yeah.
it's a university called Polytechnic, Turin Polytechnic University.
Nice.
Like it's very hard to finish this university because it has a quite difficult subjects, I would
Okay.
say. Even in the programming, you should learn chemistry, for example. You should learn, I mean, in
Yeah.
computer science, you should learn chemistry, physics, maths one, two.
Yeah.
Then after like university, I started like work in different industries.
Before you start working, I miss one information here.
Yeah.
Person that is good in cryptography, on encryption, decryption, what is missing? And then he went to IT world, if I may call like that, and all that stuff. What is missing here, and I think you don't want to show that type of person should be a good mathematician, I think,
I was
or I'm
teaching
wrong.
maths. No, I was yeah, you are right. On my second course, I was teaching maths for the smaller kids who is
Yeah,
learning
yeah,
maths.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, so I'm asking this because I came with a similar background, and not for example, like your grandfather and father, for example, on the national security. But I have cryptography, and I was honored to learn from very experienced guy on the university for national science of mathematics, basically in my country. And the guy was really 60 something before retiring, and he was drawing. We have a joke, basically, when he was writing on the table, on the in the auditorium there. We have a joke because he was fat. So usually when he was writing, he immediately with the stomach was erasing so
Yeah,
nobody have a notes about that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I learned it, if I may say, on the as exactly what you explained, on a paper, and then you draw encryption and then decryption and then the encryption, how it starts and all that stuff. We were using how was the name? One software, maybe you have heard, maybe not, mathematics or something like that it's called.
Mhm.
So it's special for maths formulas and all that stuff, where it goes encrypted key, how to find the private key, the public key.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
when somebody says now, for example, in Azure, for example, if we say, or Google Cloud or AWS, let me call it like that, to be transparent. If somebody says, yeah, it's encrypted, yeah, do you know what the encryption means? And now you're talking to the mathematician in me, or you, if I may call like that, where you think this private key, public key, this, that. But the technology, it's so much improved, I would say. So nobody even, how to say, care. But it's really, I really, how to say, I really like the subject. First of all, I must be honest. When I was finishing university, I was really happy that I learned really some new big topic, and in that period, it was Beautiful Mind, with the actor was Russell Crowe, I think,
Russell
the
Crowe.
gladiator.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
he's a mathematician, and he have some issue, and he's basically starting encrypting, decrypting, finding the private key. And
Mhm.
as a guy at university, you have all these ideas like in the movies. It's not like
Yeah,
that, let's be honest. But I want to say that it triggers me, and there is not a lot of people, yeah, not me, like you, if I may call like that, with the encryption, knowing the whole process. I know that if you don't work, we're forgetting all that stuff. But it's good that always the difference, the real difference between the
yeah.
private key and why there is a public key, if I may call like that. Because the people think, yeah, it's in Azure, I will click private key, yeah, public private key, and basically done. You have a
Mm.
certificate. But
Certificate.
you have a whole, how to say, bigger process. It is in the background, a lot of mathematics and all that stuff. So maybe I can recommend to you a one TV show. It's British one. It's called Prime Numbers, and I
Mhm.
think you will like it based on what you said to me.
I
Uh,
would love to. Yeah.
yeah, so the guy, it's about prime numbers. It's a mathematician from Harvard, I think it was, and all the stuff. And it's quite interesting. Something similar on this hour, what we discuss now, encryption and cryptography, if I may call like that, with one word. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really nice to hear that there is a lot of people that were learning, and you were learning from the real masters, if I may call like that, from your family in this case.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, real masters because at that time you can think of at the childhood 97.
okay,
I mean, I was a child, a small kid, and then my father had a
okay,
suitcase, a black suitcase, and then I never asked what kind of suitcase it is, but he told me that once if you go to cinema and then if you go like from top to bottom, like rows,
okay.
just by walking. In 3 or 4 seconds, it just records every single voice someone speaking in this room, in this
Wow.
cinema. That was in 97. Already, security teams had this powerful technology.
Yeah,
So fast voice recording.
yeah.
For us at that time, it was something magic, right? I mean, the recording tool that records
Indeed.
something.
In
And
1997.
yes,
1997, that's
yes.
25, 28 years ago,
Yes.
basically.
They had a very modern technologies already back in that time. Maybe now right now is modern, and also there was also something like the pen that can has a camera. It
Yeah,
can
yeah. James
record
Bond
your
style.
voice.
James
You
Bond
can put
style.
here. It's yeah. Why I'm telling this story? This also motivates somewhat like into which direction you go. You go to military or what pushed me in IT at that time. Also, IT field, cybersecurity was gaining popularity, like
Yeah,
how you defend your application and so on. And then that's like the push was for me. Yeah, I will become one day IT security guy. But I ended up with software engineers out of security mindset. The same way, how this identity management tools works. It's very basic. Says you need to, if two persons are talking, if
yeah,
to verify one of two person is talk, which one is who is right, you need a
yeah.
third person. This is a third person identity manager.
True.
So that's how I
But
understood.
yeah, but that's nice. And I'm saying usually it's never too late, Bobur. So, yeah, experience as a developer and then switching to the security side, to the cybersecurity, especially now with the AI and what is happening. And I think the cybersecurity will really expand and it will have a
Yeah.
lot of different topics. So, yeah, if you have time, it's never too late, mate. So you can just start learning. You need a couple of lessons, I would say, and you're good because you have the foundation from
I have master
the
degree in
yeah,
cybersecurity.
yeah, 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 yeah. So you can switch anytime, if I may say like that. But it's really nice to hear the topic about the cryptography. I'm a big fan of that, to be honest, with you. And sometimes, yeah, it's missing this manual things on how we were doing. Yeah, it's quite easier how it's done.
Yeah.
But in the movies, they didn't have AI, so usually they will writing the formulas on the windows, with the something and putting a sticker. So that's a more fancy, if I may call like that. But really nice experience. Uh, what is happening after that? You are finishing university, and or how is going later on, if I'm asked like that?
Yeah. After finishing, I started my early career at automotive industry under one
Okay.
of the brands of General Motors in IT department. We were building, CRM system, let's say, for managing assembling lines,
Okay.
how the car is assembles different like components.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
provided some CRM set collect these components and creates manages some warehouse system also under the hood. That was kind of software we created. It was my first software and big software
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
contributed to and General Motors. Then I shifted to multiple companies, as a software engineer and leveling up slowly uh, as a Java developer at the beginning, obviously, because we learned Java in the
Yeah.
university. Because in the first subject, the programming in Java is easy to learn because you can learn software engineering principles quite confidently.
Yeah. What was before
Uh,
Java, if I'm asked like that, from university days, if I may call it that?
I can
Pascal, C, C++?
C, yeah, of course. Of C, we learned C.
Yeah.
C++, we didn't touch in university, but C sharp a bit we touched. But there was
Yeah.
also one fancy programming language. Maybe you have never heard. It's called Eiffel. Eiffel programming language. You can search on the Wikipedia page. Uh,
Eiffel.
yes, Eiffel, like Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Eiffel programming language.
Let me check
There's
quickly.
the Eiffel also website.org.
Yeah, learning Eiffel. Wow.
Yes,
You're really
yeah,
learning.
yeah.
Wow.
This
Come
is
on.
Eiffel uh,
Oh,
because our professor from the university
yeah,
where we learned object-oriented programming subject, he
yeah.
was a founder of this programming language, and then he forced everyone to learn this programming language. But I really like this programming language. Actually, pretty
Wow.
much the same as C sharp in Java. And then it has a learning context. I mean, you can easily learn because it has a easy to understand syntaxes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
And then one of the motivation he gave us, in Zurich, in
Yeah.
Switzerland, because originally the author from Switzerland,
Yeah.
the metro station, subway station management, software management works
Okay.
still with Eiffel programming language.
Really? You're
This
serious
is
with
really,
this?
yes, I am. If they didn't change at that time when we started, he gave even provided some examples of how the metro lines are controlled using this programming
Okay.
language.
Wow.
Uh,
Eiffel, documentation, resources, contribution. And it's completely open source if I see good.
it is open source, yeah, it's open
Yeah,
source. But I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
sure like how efficiently this programming is growing.
yeah.
But in some universities, still, I think the followers of this professor is still teaching. And for
Wow.
example, in the Zurich University, probably in software engineers, they are learning.
Nice. Nice. Well,
Maybe I
this
think
sounds
this is something
interesting.
new for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this is something new for me, to be honest.
Yes.
For us, usually, and I think it's for the people who will watch the show or who are watching now and later. Usually, it comes for Pascal, Fortran, MS DOS, C, C++, Java.
Yes.
What else was there from the other languages? And then now Bobur came with something Eiffel. Wow,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
this? So it's quite new. I must be honest with you.
You
So
can also
I
provide in
never.
the comments, I think, the link, org documentation. I mean, maybe for those who are interested on, I mean, YouTube, they can see and
Yeah,
visit
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the.
Indeed, indeed. I will share it
Uh,
also in maybe the till end of the week when I will reshare
yeah,
the video
yeah,
because it will be on YouTube. I will share the Eiffel Tower, the
yeah, yeah.
Eiffel framework, if I
Yeah.
may call it like that,
Yeah,
and
this
all that stuff.
naming also quite interesting. I mean, if there was a good support, let's say from big companies like Google or Microsoft for this
Yeah.
programming language, I could assume that it would become like Java as a popularity.
Oh,
Every single programming language should be backed by a big industry, otherwise, like it will not
yeah.
grow. Similarly, like Python or JavaScript. So
Nice.
ecosystem and community is really important
Well, I
also.
think now it's your time where you can share that with Satya Nadella maybe next Monday, so you can discuss and share. Look, let me tell you a story.
If I'm like a founder of like if yeah I would, but I don't care about now much about this programming language. But I have written some codes, yes, in this
Yeah.
programming. And
Nice, nice,
yeah.
nice. And what's happening after?
Yeah, it's happening like different like company in different countries. I worked in Germany, in Sweden, and now I'm in Estonia, and for a while also in US while I was studying 1 year in Carnegie Mellon University.
Yeah.
But interesting like highlighting story. I can tell you the company I worked as a senior software engineer, Wirecard. It was based in Munich,
Yeah.
Germany. I think some of the maybe listeners or maybe after who
Yeah.
watch they know the company. It's Wirecard. It
Okay.
was one of the biggest German online banking company at that
Wow.
time in 2018, 17, even
Yeah.
starting from 2014. Wirecard was even giving licenses for online transactions for Revolut or
Ah.
other
Okay.
famous
Yeah. Yeah.
banking solutions, and
Yeah.
nobody knew about them. But it was quite. They had a strong foundation in Germany, and then it was the German also showcasing unicorn, the product.
Yeah.
Then like one day, I worked only 6 months around. I
Yeah.
started, then they got bankrupt, the big
Oh.
company, with
Oh.
2,000 people working in industry. Very amazing. I would say I never met engineers, strong experienced engineers, even at Microsoft, than the Wirecard. I would say, to be honest, like there was super powerful engineers. But behind the scene, there was a scandal. There's also Netflix movie series show. You can watch it, like
Yeah.
Wirecard scandals.
Oh well,
And
that's
it turned
scandal.
out, yeah, the CEO of Wirecard took every single money, and then he just escaped, I'd say. And then
Wow.
Jan Marsalek, the CEO, and then everyone, like one day, like my manager is calling. I was at home. She's telling me, "Hey, Bobur, you don't have to come to the office today." I say, I'm asking why, because there is a policy in the Munich office, big HQ. I mean, the
Yeah.
office also quite big, super exciting office. Everything in place. You can even sleep. Just you can think about Microsoft HQ, a
Yeah.
smaller
Yeah. Yeah.
size.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this office was closed for the next 3 months because auditing was checking what's happening. Like there
Yeah.
is a actually company has a 5 billion, the revenue, but in the
Okay.
banks there is no money. Uh,
Wow.
so the money doesn't exist, and the company branch in Ireland, in Dubai, in Singapore were also not there. There was, sort of project that very, you know, scandal
Yeah. Yeah.
company like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
last five
Clear.
years. I'm not sure like how they rise the revenue, this type of popularity every time from New York Times or from the US side, like they send the auditors, German government, they ignored because they were thinking US side are trying to, you know, reduce reputation of the German company, German banking, and they always
Wow.
ignored. But at the end, like this true became like to the world.
Yeah.
And then I had to leave
Wow.
that company.
Okay.
Even like my friends, they were supporting me because I'm without job. But in also one of the famous, the German job searching website, I forgot the name, like
Yeah.
LinkedIn, Xing or something like called. But every single company start to reach out to me, like 200, 300 every week. Like, Bobur, we know
Wow.
what happened. What happened. You can join us without interview. We believe the Wirecard engineers, even
Yeah.
my landlord. I was renting the apartment. She told me like you don't have to pay for the next 3 months. Over, we understand what happened.
Whoa. Very
Yeah, that's
nice.
good.
I must be honest. Very nice from the people there. I must be honest, because not everyone. It's when you lose a job, it's a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
tricky. But happy to see that they have understanding on what happened basically based on the
yeah, yeah.
story.
Yeah, sure. And
Nice.
then yeah, I came back to Tallinn now. Still, I'm here. I was. I started my journey as a developer advocate. I mean, I transitioned from software engineering, not
Yeah.
directly. I was, contributing first as a non-paid job.
Yeah.
I became a community manager for Apache Software Foundation.
Okay.
They
Nice.
invited me, hey, Babur, like you are already contributing to a couple of open sources like API management or Kafka, Apache
Yeah.
Kafka. Then why not to try out like as community manager? I said, yes, of course I will. As a like committer for
Yeah.
free, I
Yeah.
start my job. Then after working like 8 months or 1 year, other open source backed companies start to reach out to me like, hey, Bobo, like,
Oh,
would you like to become developer advocate finally? Because we know that you like this job. I said,
yeah.
yes, I want. And think about it, if it's paid, that's it. Like I can
Yeah.
stop my engineering, I will become
Yeah.
developer advocate. And then developer advocacy was super popular at that time. Everyone was thinking like you go to event, you travel a lot of fancy stories.
Yeah.
Then I started one of the open source project backed by one company as a developer advocate. Officially, I had a successful contribution there, and Microsoft. After that, I applied for Microsoft advocacy
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
became developer audience lead for Central Eastern Europe,
Wow.
along with 2 million developers in this region. You can think of
Nice.
our task was to creating some go-to-market strategies, how we can make a growth for Microsoft Azure
Yeah. Yeah.
compared
Yeah.
to AWS. So in the competition.
Nice. Wow. That's quite a lot of experience and quite turbulence, up and downs, if I may call it
Hey,
like that.
what is without turbulence? It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be boring. Indeed. Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You
Yeah.
always go down and then you jump twice like higher always
Yeah,
as a
yeah, yeah,
mountain.
indeed, indeed.
So,
And listening all of this, it sounds quite interesting thing. And now I'm just thinking while you were talking, yeah, this guy went to Germany, the bank went bankrupt, and he went here for this, for that. And how now come to the whole picture neon, if I may ask like that, mate? From where it's coming, what is neon? If I make to ask you in a simple way, I'm
yeah,
aware and all of that stuff. I know what is it and all that things. But how it starts in this story, or how, yeah, how it comes to your story, if I may call it that, based on
yeah,
everything that you said just right now, mate.
yeah. Yeah. I think this is a very good time to make this connection, like from after Microsoft story.
Yeah,
It makes connection after Microsoft. In August, there was 2023. There was also a massive layoffs happening at Microsoft. I was also impacted, one of them, because it's just random person. You can
yeah,
go. And then after leaving Microsoft, I decided, okay, I'm gonna run my own developer relation consultancy.
okay,
So I can help at the same time two or three different companies, not as a full-time employee, but helping like based on a contract in
yeah,
the short-term like period. And I worked with different companies, like almost all these 100% companies were successful. I would say one is a Pathway, French-based company, another is Glassflow, German-based
oh,
startup.
okay,
Both like developer tools. And for example, Pathway was successful, got their seed round of investment, about 10 millions this year.
wow,
The Glassflow also reached the seed round with 5 million.
yeah,
Then Neon also now one of the company I'm consulting to how we can integrate into Microsoft Azure ecosystem for the
yeah,
Neon. This is my task now on the table
yeah,
because every single like success in this DevRel after Microsoft come with a Microsoft foundation because
yeah,
I'm super the grateful to the work that I did in the Microsoft, and then still like I'm feeling the impact of Microsoft community. I'm still like feeling the impact, like if I talking to you, Martin, like MVPs,
yeah.
and every single like success I achieved after Microsoft with the help of Microsoft, I would say community and so on.
Yeah,
Still,
and
still the
yeah,
Neon also.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
have a
indeed.
question?
Yeah, yeah, I have a question, a quick question. What is the, how to say, for example, what is the goal of, let's call it like that? What is the goal when you create this type of a product, for example, and all the stuff? For example, what's the goal for Neon, if I may say like that? Yeah, to be available for the developers, for this, for that, and all that stuff. But
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
the
yeah,
top goal, if I may call it that? On the high level, let's call it like
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
suppose. I mean, how to say, yeah, not always it's about money, if I may say like that. We know that sometimes it's about money, of course. We don't, how to say, in the market they don't ask to hug them, and they will give us the groceries. That's a relevant example, I would say. So how or where Neon see himself, if I may call it that, I will say like him, Neon, in this case, in the next
Yeah.
2 3 years, or what's the high level overview? What's the goal of the Neon, if I may call it like that?
Sure, I can give you a little bit of understanding of this, like what's the goal. First of
Yeah,
all, like for those who is new to Neon, I can little explain like what's Neon.
yeah,
Neon is yet another Postgres solution, which
yeah.
is if you're using Postgres SQL, it is like 100% compatible with Postgres, but it provides fully managed service for open source
Okay.
Postgres.
Yeah,
You can still use the same SQL queries, the same syntaxes, the same extensions as you're using the Postgres, and there is no uh, migration overhead needed. Just simply you can migrate the from Postgres to fully manage it, like we have Azure Postgres, right? Managed.
yeah,
AWS
yeah,
also
yeah,
has,
yeah,
Google also has now.
yeah,
The Neon also providing with one of the powerful features that no other database has is, for example, one of the database branching. that's very unique in the
Wow.
Postgres, even in database world, like how you can create multiple branches for your data as you're writing code and you're managing your code throughout the branch on GitHub. Like we have dev branch, staging branch, prod branch, right? And
Yeah.
then this data migration, schema migration happens under the hood automatically with this branching. Then, like the goal is now, as you have mentioned, right?
Yeah.
When companies, for example, invest in the developer advocacy or coming to building, they are not just trying to sell the product or making the money. They are building more the strong community around
True.
it because as more people excited about the product for the short run, it's maybe not a good. I mean, it doesn't bring some benefit for the company,
Yeah.
but for the long run, it builds a strong like layer.
Yeah.
So everybody uh, starts to love the product because the end goal is gonna be so Neon should be another modern alternative to Postgres because every single product has should be more modernized, right? Let's
Yeah.
say the same way programming language modernized. We had the C++, and then after say the C sharp came up, and then there is also after that C sharp like we are seeing also TypeScript even from the Microsoft world. Uh, and the same way technology is revolutionizing. The Neon
Yeah.
is seeing in the future the modern Postgres that everybody loves and everybody can use it without infrastructure. For example, you don't have to even write in the future SQL queries because in the
Indeed.
combination of AI in the APIs, you can
Yeah.
manage everything with the API or AI. Uh,
Indeed.
and uh, and
In-
also another powerful of this fully managed databases in general, like not only Neon. Uh, if you think about software you are building from scratch, you need a backend service. Why you need a backend service? Because you need to have a business logic implemented, like calculations,
Okay.
right? Some business logic,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
save
Yeah.
the data to the database. But
Yeah.
think about now, database is handling all the calculation, all the business logic, and you can directly connect to the UI without backend.
Indeed.
This is how
Indeed.
we call it, like serverless.
Yeah.
Main like cross-cutting concerns. We call it like authentication or rate limiting or role-based like let's say application management
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
can be fully automated without the backend. You don't have to write authentication code anymore in your API. So we can directly
Indeed.
connect to the database, do the house-based like management from the JavaScript UI of our code. So this is
That's
the serverless.
that's quite sounds quite interesting. I must be honest. Now
Yeah,
listening,
and then
how did you
little bit of
explain?
yeah, a little bit of branching. I can make it shortly explain. Like branching is if using like you usually create different instances for dev environment, staging, and prod because
Yeah.
they should be isolated to for testing purposes, for development purposes, for production because the customer's data should be uh, not for development. And you need to create different instances if you're using other databases like Postgres, for example. You create a separate instance and you need to manage the connection strings, roles, other than everything, and you need to pay additionally for this instance.
Yeah.
And also, you need to have automated infrastructure code to redeploy or update the schemas every time when if development adds one table, and then it should be
Yeah.
synchronized with production environment, right? In this
True.
case, like Neon offers alternative. You don't have to create instance physically, but you can create a virtual
Okay.
like computation layer that creates a physical, not a, like a
That's
virtual
something like
environment.
sandbox. Something like sandbox.
Sandbox,
Yeah.
exactly. You create a sandbox that you can like, create the additional schemas, change the data. Then anytime you can synchronize with your prod branch or staging branch
Yeah.
with automation. So in this case, you are paying less because
Yeah.
there is no physical environment at all. It's just a
True.
sandbox.
True. Indeed,
Then
indeed, and it's a virtual instance, basically, if I may call it like that.
yeah, and then
Uh,
this is why like only difference from other Postgres solution is computation and storage layer is fully separated. And then when it comes, for example, you want to need a more CPU but less storage, it's flexible, like you can always manage manually or customize it, like
yeah, 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 yeah. Adjust basically
adjust. And then
later.
if it's
Yeah,
there's an idle databases that you're not using, especially for AI agents now becoming famous, like AI
indeed.
agents now can manage infrastructure at the same time can create databases. Because why you need actually a database for AI agents? AI agents of, should be responsible for single domain, the same as microservice,
Okay.
the concepts. Every
Yeah, yeah,
single
yeah,
service, single responsibility. And AI just also should have a single responsibility. Otherwise, you cannot. It will be problem with data management,
yeah,
where you need to two AI agents can write different data to the one
yeah,
database, right? Uh,
yeah.
there are other reasons that you need to have a separate database. And AI agents also needs very fast database creation process. If as an engineer you need like 5 minutes is good enough to create a new database for you. But for AI agents, 1 second at least maximum. You create a database, you just play it,
Like
and you
this.
just remove.
Thunk.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you remove the database.
Wow, that's quite
Yeah.
quite fast, and quite interesting topic for those who are using Azure. And I know we have a lot of people that will watch later or that watching now. If you search in Azure, basically in the search button. Oh, no, in the search field.
Marketplace. In the
Yeah,
marketplace.
no, but even in the search, if they go in, if they write neon, basically they will see a
They
nice
enabled.
green
Yeah, yeah.
icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, direct in the portal, but there is also, yeah, as Bobur mentioned, on the marketplace, and you can play around, especially if you use databases and all that stuff. So you can explore. I see now, just at this moment, I opened while Bobur was talking. There is a free plan, basically, billing term, it's 1 month, but then I see for now it's free and basically 1 month exactly. If I'm, yeah, 10 projects. 0 0.5 gigabytes of storage, 190 compute hours, auto scaling to TCU, read replicas, and 90 plus Postgre extensions, which is quite a lot for testing, and it's free at the end of the day. So anyone can basically start it and just using that and do the stuff, if I may call it that. For now, I don't see any additional plan, Bobur, if I may be honest with you here. Is that an idea for extending, or after the first month it will show, if I may say, how it's called? Yeah, after the 3 month it will show the other type of plans.
Good question. I think first of all, like Neon has a three type of Neon. One is
Okay,
Neon, let's say open source. It's fully open source Neon solution.
okay,
You
okay.
can deploy inside the Docker and then use it for free forever. Like there is a
Yeah,
Neon open source on GitHub repository we have. It's very famous because it started
okay,
with open source. And next second one is a Neon Cloud version,
yeah,
which is when you go to console.neon.tech,
yeah,
and then you can deploy to the Neon managed clouds, and you can choose the cloud, Azure or AWS.
yeah,
This is second one, Neon managed cloud. And the third one is native integration to clouds. Like we have native integration to AWS and Neon, which means where Neon is not managing your like a Neon instance. You are
yeah,
still managing your own instance, but on Azure or on AWS, which means still you are deploying because native integration has as a inside a container,
yeah, yeah,
and you are using it and you are paying for the sorry subscription. But free plan, it's forever. I mean, even on Azure, if you are using
yeah.
native integration for installing
Oh,
from
nice.
Marketplace, it is forever free with that offering. And if
Yeah,
you want more, like because you create a proof of concept, or maybe you are using just for tiny
yeah,
startup
yeah, yeah,
project for building MVP, that's more than enough. I mean, for building MVP, free is enough.
yeah, yeah. Clear.
Then once you have customers onboarding and then you want to scale, obviously In this case, you can go to other packages, which is I think available on the marketplace, like other
Yeah, yeah,
prices.
yeah.
But it's not like a push it now to go and start with the paid package. Yeah, I wouldn't even I wouldn't recommend it like paying at the beginning.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's good to know. Yeah, I see. Yeah, indeed, scale plan and business plan there is
Yes,
here.
yes.
Indeed, I just saw on the marketplace because I opened directly in Azure and I just search it. If I may be honest, so that's how I see everything immediately. Start creating all the stuff. So now with a couple of clicks, so it's quite easy and quite simple as I see here. But there is also for companies or for the advanced usage, if I may call it like that, business usage and auto scaling and more projects, of course. There is, indeed, scale plan and the business plan are available here and within the marketplace. But it was a good point from you that if someone is basically is needed from the GitHub repo, there is also a free Neon that it's completely free forever, as we know to say. So it's free and the people can use that version also.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. This is
what's the
okay.
progress and how is going, for example, the progress? So what's the idea on the future improvement, if I may call it like that? Is there, you can share something with us or it's via NDA, how it's called?
Yeah, yeah, I can, of course, of course. We
Yeah,
are seeing Neon in the future more in AI builder application, AI tools
yeah, 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 yeah.
like a Replit, for example, one of the Replit. I'm not sure if you heard about the Replit or Cursor, another
Cursor, I have
tool.
heard about that.
Yeah, another
Indeed.
Cursor is becoming also famous as an editor. There is another also editor idea also like VS Code gaining popularity. We see the Neon there because the AI now with AI you can take actions, right? You can say AI, hey,
Yeah,
create a database for me now, and then fill with this data. Then
yeah.
you can use Cursor to do so, which means like we're going for developer tools. First
Okay.
direction, next direction is AI agentic tools because AI agents, as I explained, it needs multiple databases anyway. There is no other solution, and they cannot use existing, let's say, Postgres solution because it takes a lot of time to spin up, and then you
Yeah,
need database, and then usually AI agent does like maybe 2 minutes work
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to do some like action calculation, and then AI agents they don't need the database after that.
Yeah.
Uh, and you can just delete the database at all.
Delete.
This in this operation. And then the third direction is Microsoft Azure, obviously, because
Yeah,
the Microsoft side seeing as a competitive market in AWS, they have Aurora, a serverless database, another
yeah,
quite good example of Neon, Aurora AWS.
yeah, yeah.
But Microsoft, because still always competing with AWS, they want to put into one on in the first place Neon on Azure as alternative to Aurora on AWS.
Yes. Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice to hear. Uh, is there a possibility, maybe, or is there a future plans, maybe, to be included in the AI Foundry, if I may ask like that? Yeah, I know that AI
Uh,
Foundry is completely, how it's called, the separate portal for AI model deployments, because we discussed now AI and all that stuff, and we said the databases. Is there an idea about that, something in the near future, or?
Yes, Martin. Yes, you're
Yeah,
reading my mind. Actually, I
yeah,
was
okay,
I
sorry.
was thinking on the top of my head. On the top of my head, I should tell that. Yes, yes, we are improving in different angles. This product, like AI Foundry, it's a go-to place. We are discussing already internally with Microsoft core teams of AI Foundry. Let's mention because the Neon can be used also as a vector store
Yeah,
plus for AI agents, they have a preview now service called Azure AI Agent Service.
nice.
If you, I think you tried or not, I recommend. Like it's very nice. I tried myself. Like we had the AI assistants on Azure,
Yeah,
right? And we had the OpenAI. Uh,
yeah,
Now they combine it. I mean, like semantic kernel, you can
yeah, yeah,
use
yeah.
AI agent service, but it's fully managed. So you
Oh,
can create the instead of writing hundreds of lines of code, you can write one line of code now
Code
with SDK, and you can deploy to AI Foundry, and even you
Foundry.
can create it without writing code. AI agent you can create
Wow,
on AI Foundry now.
nice.
This is a direction I'm seeing. Like one is integration to AI, Azure AI agentic service, and then
Okay.
people can create a database branch for their agents on using the AI Foundry in a low-code environment.
Yeah.
And if you ask like other angle, for example, how Neo works with other services, let's say for app service or for static web app, Azure Functions, we are building service connectors now, integration, where
Okay.
you can, using service connector service, create Neon database and then connect this backend service with a database without
Yeah. Yeah.
writing
Yeah.
code, without managing
Wow.
connections, even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
system
Yeah.
identity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these the managing connections will come something like a connector, basically, like what we have
Yeah, yeah,
seen in the Power Platform, from
yeah.
connector to one place to another, if I may call it like that, from point A to point B.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly the same. Service Connector, I think Microsoft is also pushing forward now. Every single service is gonna be these service connectors. And then you can create using Terraform or Bicep, it's the same service
Yeah,
connector. But
whatever is needed,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
indeed.
Cool thing is, for example, you don't have to manage even when the connection strings updates with the managed identity, of course. Then like it can deploy automatically the database. I mean, you don't have to, for example, specify separately. Like I want this
Yeah,
database.
yeah, 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 yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds exciting, if I may be honest with you now, listening what is the future plan for Neon and how it can integrate within all of this. Yeah, new modern technologies. AI is the new modern one, but also Neon is the new modern one. So two new modern one, if I may call it like that, into one package. It sounds like a nice solution at the end of that. And basically from there you have the connections, which will come later on, I suppose, and all that stuff, which sounds quite interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Listening where what we need to expect from Neon, I'm curious about what should we expect from Bobur. What's the challenge for Bobur for 2025 to learn and to do in his life, if I'm asked like that?
You mean learning in the Neon
Something
or
new. Yeah, yeah,
something
something
new?
new. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Always like I mean, I'm discovering new things like challenges. For example, for me now, quantum technology.
Quantum.
Uh,
Okay.
yes, quantum
Okay.
technology. It's beyond AI, obviously. Inside
Yeah,
AI,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course, there are some topics now, hyping topics like model. I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation,
Ye-
model context protocol,
Yeah,
MCP. But I would assume the next few years, quantum computing technologies will be the first important thing, even after AI.
yeah,
So this is a new technology direction I'm learning, discovering, and for example, how uh, AI can help to solve engineering problems existing in the quantum computing. Because now quantum computing only a matter of time and a matter of engineering, attitude. Now,
yeah,
if AI can solve this existing problem, that would be amazing. Even
yeah.
in different direction, also quantum computing can help with AI future because of computing power. Uh,
Indeed.
yeah.
Indeed. A couple of,
Uh,
I think, weeks ago, I searched it and let me see if I can find somewhere here in the messages. Let me see. Yeah, there is something I was exploring. I will send you the link after this call. Microsoft is working a lot, basically based on that. I suppose you're aware, but they have a real. How it's called, a real demo where you can explore the things, the
yes.
development,
Yes.
and how fast it is. So I was exploring a couple of weeks ago, and it's quite a big topic, of course, but also it's good, how it's called, to start learning all that stuff and really to see all of that site. I see that Microsoft have also how it's called Quantum Ready something program where anyone can basically skill himself to learn something. But it's really nice and interesting what you said about the quantum, because yeah, you want to explore and to see all of that new things, because it's quite a huge topic, let's be honest.
There
uh
is already Azure Quantum service. You can
yeah.
play on Azure and write some codes, and there is a quantum programming language
Wow.
like FL.
Quantum.
Yes, Microsoft has a quantum programming language, Q Sharp. It's called Q Sharp. Yes, Q Sharp.
Q sharp.
Yes.
Wow. When everything started, we are still didn't finish learning the AI. Why now they interrupt us with something new?
Yeah. It's a quantum programming language, Q Sharp, like a C Sharp. It's
Yeah.
also it's calling now. You can open also. There's the Microsoft documentation quite a lot. I was learning that QDK. It's not the SDK,
QDK.
QDK.
QDK with
Quantum
Q
Development
indeed.
Speed.
Yeah. Nice. Such a new things, and I don't know who allowed that. I must be honest with you, because I disagree on that. We need to finish learning AI and how to use AI. Then we can start with quantum. Somebody need to set a time break. Please. Let's the guys finish with AI, and then we can continue with the QDK and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
It's so difficult to catch up. Huh? I mean, every
Indeed,
week,
indeed.
like you are missing something. The same way, like one of my friend, he didn't go for military service, mandatory
Yeah.
military service. He just rejected because if he goes for 1 year, that's it.
Okay.
He's for his career in IT. That's it for his career. He
Indeed.
cannot like continue anymore in software engineering.
Indeed. Everything going so fast. Even in 1 year, we have AI, Copilot, this, that, a lot of changes here and there, and all the stuff. And now it's quantum. And I don't know what to expect till end of 2025. To be honest with you, so far, I think a lot of new things will come. Also, I was hoping that this year will stabilize a little bit. To be honest, completely with
Yeah.
you. But now looking with AI agents and all that stuff, what is happening, it's quite complex and quite difficult to follow all that stuff. I created, I will be honest, and maybe a small tip for everyone that will watch or watch now. And for you, if you're not using, I even open on Chat GPT and I created 5 different chats. One, this GPT with tasks. So can you send me every morning? I learned that from Gregor, basically, and send me the latest Azure updates, then send me the latest updates about this. And every morning in 8 a.m., I have on the email 5 mails from OpenAI about this, about that. And then I know, now I'm good. We can start the day. Nothing bad happened, nothing so good, or nothing new pop up on the market, and all that stuff. But it's quite complex to follow. Even we are, I suppose, also for you, in front of the computer most of the time, minimum 8-10 hours. Then we are with the phone and still can't follow all the stuff that is happening. I must be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree. Agree on
Indeed,
this.
indeed. Uh, I see that somehow I forgot on the time. I don't know why. Somehow I really enjoyed on this in this conversation with you, mate. I really like that, even if it's later 1 hour for me, but also for you and all that stuff. I really enjoyed with this conversation, and I see that we are talking really easily 1 hour, and we can talk, I think, minimum 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
hours without any problem. Uh, so I wanted to say, as what is the last book that Bobur read? If I'm asked like that, that's my last question, and I will not bother you anymore.
Yeah, this is a difficult question. I cannot remember what kind of book I wrote because I'm reading from GPT. I'm
Okay,
just
but
joking.
ebook is acceptable. Ebook is also acceptable. Some PDF file is also acceptable on the tablet while you're traveling, mate. I know you're also quite busy, so that's why
Yeah,
I'm saying, PDF it's also acceptable.
yeah. I was reading also. There is a book, a handbook called Developer
Yeah.
Marketing Handbook.
Okay.
Developer Marketing Handbook. You can search for. It was on also Amazon bookstore.
Yeah.
And I was about to actually buy this book, but then someone actually present as to me as a gift, the
Oh, nice.
hard copy, and now
Yeah,
I'm reading
nice.
that book.
Oh, nice.
But I can maybe also send you a link. You can have a look. Very interesting. If you, I mean, if you're an endeavor guy, I mean,
Yeah,
super
yeah, yeah.
super interesting.
Yeah, what's the
Like the
name of
book
the book? Maybe that's the most
I'm
important, I
sending.
would say. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is a book about like how you can, yeah, it's developer market essential guide.
Essential
Uh,
guide. Okay.
yeah, so it's not a new book, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is something like I was discovering recently. Yeah, it's more about marketing and not the
Yeah.
technology, because
Okay.
now in DevRel, we have the pillars. You should keep the balance of four directions, like developer community, marketing, content creation, and developer experience. So
Yeah.
if you are very good and you are providing a lot of great content technically uh, using code samples, it's not enough.
Okay.
Like we need to know how to sell these
Indeed.
to the developers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now I just read the based how it's called the overview of the book here, what is written, and it's somehow it looks quite interesting. With the first sentence, software developer are gaining increasing influence within every company they work with, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. Uh, and The C level is no longer sufficient. The software developer is now a powerful force in
In
decision
decision.
making, which is indeed it's the right sentence, if I may be honest with you,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's really happening that also from this year I see 2018 it's written, if I see good, but also yeah, maybe before AI, but in some companies it's still a case like this where the software development, is doing all that stuff and so on. So I fully agree with the book. So nice that you're reading again some technical book. I was expecting some movie book. Come on, you need to switch a little bit from time to time.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Joke.
right. I mean, also my family says like you need to read more fictional,
Yeah, yeah,
also
just
books.
a change, just for a change,
Change the
because
mind. Yeah, yeah, change the
indeed,
mind.
indeed, indeed. Mate, I don't know what else to say except thank you a lot. Thank you for the nice
Okay.
conversation. I hope soon we will see each other in person. Enjoy an MVP summit there also for me. So yeah, thank you again, and I'm wishing all the viewers and also to you, mate, have a nice evening call.
Thanks, Martin.
Yep. Thank you. Bye bye.